To learn from and to grow, dealing with emotions to create decisions that it show. I need a lesson. I need a lesson. I need a lesson. Lessons learned. Everyone has a lesson. Whether it's good or bad, you can learn from it. So I never had the chance to really introduce myself. My name is Tia, and I'm currently located in Massachusetts. I wanted to start this podcast because, one, I love learning, and two, I love helping others. Lesson Learns is a multi-story podcast where I hope it will grow into a podcast that everyone can learn and enjoy and love, to be on the show. So ideally I wanted to do for this month of March, I wanted to talk about relationships and friendships, advice on that, because I'm currently going through a friendship that it's not really the greatest right now. And so I definitely am learning to cope with that and stuff. So I'm also learning with you guys. The first guest I have on here is Kaity. Kaity explains how her best friend accused her for being negative and a bad influence. Here's Kaity's story.
Well, I was the new kid in school, and she was kind of a loner. We had home ec class together, and we were paired up because everybody else kind of already had their friends, and like I said, she was a loner. And so we were paired up, and we just instantly hit it off. We used to pass notes. We had our own stupid secret code, so that way in case our notes were found, nobody knew what we were talking about. On a separate note, I kind of grew up very sheltered. I wasn't really allowed to have friends over the house. I didn't go over other people's houses, but my mom knew her mom. And so she was really the only friend that could come over the house, or I went over her house once every 2 months or whatever. And we would stay up late watching stupid YouTube videos and prank calling boys that we liked, and it was just a typical high school friendship, I guess. Our idea, she was such a goody two shoes. Our idea of rebelling was drinking milk and Baileys after her mom went to bed. I don't even think you can get drunk off of Baileys. And I don't know, we had plans after high school. She was really big into art. She was a really good artist, and we were gonna open up our own graphic arts business. I went to high school, my first semester was in graphic arts, and then my second and third semester was in business management. We were gonna open up a cute little t-shirt shop and do HR or PR for other companies, and do their business cards and posters and shit like that. And then she one day just looked at me and said that she didn't want to do it anymore. And it fucked up my future. I'm going to school literally to open up this business, and now all of a sudden you don't want to do it anymore. What the fuck am I supposed to do? This was my plan too,
That's crazy.
It was awful.
And how did that make you feel?
Like a piece of shit. I think because of that, I show appreciation towards people 10 times more than I probably should. I appreciate people that I probably shouldn't appreciate, but I don't ever want to be told that they feel differently than what I've been projecting. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Facebook message that I opened up one day was absolutely disgusting. She went on about how her boyfriend didn't approve of me and didn't think that I was a good person, and I clapped right back and was look, the only difference between me and your boyfriend is literally that he's sticking it inside of you. I supported you. I support you just as much as he does, if not more, because I've known you longer. But, and, like, she ended up marrying the guy, and she's still with him, and, like, they are such a Northampton, like, typical bougie couple who's about to adopt, like, a Hades baby. And I can't stand it. And a part of me wishes that, like, one day she'll send me a text and be like, hey, I'm sorry, he was, like, super controlling and I couldn't have any friends. Like, some sort of, like, bullshit excuse that, like, doesn't end up, that, like, makes it so, like, it wasn't my fault, you know? It's crazy to think about, but I haven't seen her in 10 years. Oh, I'm gonna start crying. I hate this. Like, I hate that I never got any closure. I hate that I feel like I'm never gonna move on. I hate that I project this friendship with her onto any other, like, future potential friendships, because, like, if I just spent 7 years pouring my heart and soul into this friendship for her to tear it apart, then, like, what's stopping anybody else from doing the same thing? Focus on the good parts, I guess. Like, any relationship, with, like, an ex-boyfriend or an ex-girlfriend or anything, that you just kind of have to, like, accept the fact that this is, like, the true person that they are, but take the good memories for what they are. It doesn't mean that they weren't genuine during that, like, 5-minute moment that you remember good shit. Like, just because we ended on a bad note doesn't mean, like, all those nights that we literally spent till, like, 6-7 o'clock in the morning laughing our asses off and crying and doing stupid silly makeovers and everything, like, that still happened, and it still means something to me. There's no reason I should turn it bad just because the whole relationship was bad.
Meet Merlin, a recording artist at Red 13. I actually had the chance to meet up with her when I was interning there. Now let me tell you about this girl. She is phenomenal. Like, honestly, she has such a great soul. Like, she's so funny. She makes me laugh all the time. It's like I know her. Like, it's like she's like one of my close friends, which is awesome. You know, it's always good to have someone like that. And she just actually released a single. It's on all social media platforms, and it's called Love, and I'll put the link on. Merlin talks about a moment in time that was very special to her.
One of a really good story that I have, like, that's, like, really close to me in my heart, growing up, I didn't have the best friends, like, around me, just because, like, moving from my country to the U.S., it was hard to make friends, and then I moved to another city as soon as I started going to school, and then, like, I just kind of made friends with people who were, like really on my street, because, like, my mom was really afraid of me, like, just, like, going too far from home and stuff like that. So, like, once I got to high school, I made friends with, like, I, like, went out of my way and, like, tried to, like, just actually meet people who were more like me, and I, like, had these 2 girlfriends that, like, we made friends during, like, the freshman year of high school, and then literally, like, when summer came, and I just remember being like, oh, like, I can't, like, usually I don't see my friends over summer, so, we really tried to see each other and all that. So, but the thing is, like, we're just, like, kids, and we didn't have money, you don't have anything really to do. So we literally spent an entire summer going to Target. Like, it's so funny that I hear people talking about, like, going to Target now and, like, buying things as adults, and I'm like, yeah, I spent my childhood, like, a whole summer there, and all we would literally do is, like, go and get slushies. Oh my. Like, they were, like, unlimited slushies, too. So we'd have this one cup of slushie and just go, like, refill it. And on our, like, sugar highs, we'd go around the store and just touch everything. But, like, look at this ball, and look at this lawn chair. And I don't know how, but we literally entertained ourselves, like, all summer day long, like, all summer. I don't know how. And, like, to me, like, looking back on it now, it's just kind of, like, it's one of those lessons where you're like, you know what? It really doesn't matter what you're doing as long as you're with good people. And when you're with good people, like, you can make anything fun.
Oh my God, I love that. That's awesome.
Just like 3 little girls, just like slushies and like literally would like sit on the lawn chair, like play with stuff. We would, and that's the thing, we were never disrespectful. We never bothered anyone. We never got yelled at. It was just like, I don't know how we entertained ourselves. And we'd try on clothes and then we'd put them back and then we'd be like, oh, what's this over here? Play the sample video games. You know, it was just so funny.
Was there a time that like an employee came up to you guys, be like, are you guys okay? Like, can I help you guys with something or anything?
I think there was like one time where like we might have started getting a little too loud. Like, you know, we got like too comfortable going there all the time. And then there was one time where we like saw somebody like, you know, like they're like starting to look at you and then you know, like you're grabbing attention. But then after that, like that wasn't, we were just like so scared of getting kicked out. We were like, no, we have so much fun here. That we were like, okay, we're just going to calm down. We're just going to like be really chill so we don't get kicked out because we're having too much fun. So, but we got close one time, but like we just decided to like chill. So we didn't want to, but like we don't want to get kicked out of Target. Like who gets like banned from Target? Like,
God, that's so funny.
My brother talks about a fun, one-in-a-lifetime experience with his best friend.
So this story starts off around like 2 years ago. Not like the last summer, this most recent summer, the summer before. And me and my friend Kayla, like, we're really close. Like, we've been close since we were in like kindergarten. We used to go, well, we still do. We go to a lot of concerts, but this summer there was a bunch of concerts. So it really started off when we went to Wiz Khalifa. We went to Wiz Khalifa in Hartford, and I remember it was really, really hot that day, and we were like in the lawn, like in the back of the concert, and we were like, oh my god, it's really hot, like we really want to sit down, like, you know, and get out the sun. So our seats weren't even in the lawn. They were in like this random seat. It was like these seats sucked. And we sat down, but we couldn't really figure out if they were like our seats because they were handicapped. Like they had like handicap symbols on it. So then we went up to someone and we were like, hi, like are these like our seats? And the guy was like, yeah, those are your seats, but those suck. And we were like, what? We were like, wait, what? They suck? And we were like, oh, like that sucks. He was like, yeah, you want to be front row? And we were like, yeah. So then we got the tickets and we went front row, and that was so fun. Like, we had so much fun. We were front row, and after that we were like, okay, like we're not gonna get seats far away ever again. Like, we have to be front row after when you get it the first time, you know? So there was another concert coming up, and I remember it was a week before my 21st birthday. My 20th birthday, I think. Yeah. And, we were like, okay, we already bought these tickets for the lawn, but we really want to be front row, so we spent the money, and we bought them for front row. Get to the concert, it's like G-Eazy, Ty Dolla $ign. But we get to the concert, it was so fun. We were pumped up, and we were like the only ones like smoking. Like, no one else was really smoking, so we were just like smoking, like hanging out. And then someone came on before him, I forget. But then Ty Dolla $ign came out, and he was like, he was about to come out. And this worker guy pointed to us, and he was like, you guys are smoking? And so we were like, no. We were like, no, we're not. Because we thought that we were going to get in trouble, like, you know? So we were like, no, we're not smoking. He was like, alright, like, whatever. Like, if you're not smoking, I'll just ask someone else. And then my friend Kayla was like, no, I'm smoking. She, like, stood up. She was like, I have my ID and everything. I'm 21. Maybe I was about to turn 21. I think I was about to turn 21. It was like a week before. And he was like, alright, I'll talk to someone else. He's like, no, I'm 21. I have my ID and everything. And he was like, okay. So then he was like, come up here. And literally, it was like because we were in the middle of like the like pit part, and literally everybody just like split, and like when we're from right, so we could see like the front gate of like, you know, the stage, and everybody was just like went like to the right side and the left side. We were like, what the fuck? And then everybody was like, come on, come forward. And we were like, whoa. So then we went forward, we walked forward, and it was so much space, like enough for like a parking space. Like everybody split open that wide. I was like, are we celebrities? Like, what's happening? So then we walked in the front, get to the front of the stage. We're like, hi. And he was like, you want to go on stage? And then Kayla's like, no. And I'm answering for her. I'm like, yeah, she's going on stage. And he's like, all right, you're going to make the shit lit? And he's like, yeah. Like Kayla's like, yeah, I'm going to make it lit. And then, and then he explained it, like it happened so fast. He explained it. He was like, all right, he's going to say, how are you doing tonight? Then I'm going to lift you open. I'm going to lift you over the gate. I'm gonna carry you, and then you're gonna wait to the queue. Then you're gonna go on stage, and then he just explained everything so fast, and we were just like, okay. So then like he came out, and he was like, "How y'all doing tonight?" And then he grabbed Kayla like from the armpits, grabbed her, yanked her over, and then she had her phone, and then she had like a freaking joint, and she was like, "Take it," and she handed it to me when she was like up in the sky, and I took it. And I I had literally the joint in my mouth. I had my phone in my right hand. I had her phone in her left hand, and I was like recording everything. She got on stage, like she was on stage with Ty Dolla $ign. I was dying. I've never laughed so hard. I was laughing so hard because it wasn't a funny thing, but it's just like, holy crap, like my friend is on stage right now. Like it's so funny. And then like everybody, like I was next to these girls. And they were tapping me. They were like, dude, that's your friend. Like, you know her. Like, she's on stage right now with a celebrity. I was like, yeah. I was like, I'm dying. And she went on stage, and he gave her a joint, and she lit it, like, perfectly. Like, I would have fucked it up. Like, I would have, like, dropped it or something. She lit it perfectly. She was dancing on stage with him, and he was singing, like, that's a vibe. And I was like, oh! I was laughing so hard. I can't believe it. And then she got the microphone, and she was like, yeah, how y'all doing tonight? It was so funny. It was so funny. And then she got off stage, and then she gave him a hug, and then she was escorted off stage. But it just like shows that, I don't even know. It's just crazy how when we don't buy the tickets up front, we go up front, and then we bought the tickets up front, and she went on stage. Like, what? We were like, what the fuck? And that's happened to us a bunch of times. Like, we have gotten up to the front of the pit when we were in the lawn, like, over 4 times. Like, that happened to us in the whole entire summer. That whole summer, we didn't go in the lawn once. Every time we got upgraded to go in the front. Every time.
Yeah.
Like, we're like, are we celebrities? Like, what's happening? But that was the funniest moment ever. Have fun with your friends. Especially when you're young. Just, like, do, like, stupid stuff. Not stupid stuff, but, like, adventurous stuff and, like, you know what I mean? Like, when's another time, like, you're gonna, like, that's a once-in-a-lifetime thing. Like, I'm gonna remember that forever. And I know she is, too. Like, I'm gonna remember that. Be like, oh my god, remember that time, like, my friend, like, went on stage? And that was, like, a huge stage. Like, a huge tour. Like, all across North America. So, that's my lesson. Just have fun. Like, especially when you're young and you have time to even have fun, because when you get older, you're not going to have as much time, because, you're going to have responsibilities. So when you're young, it's like the perfect time.
Make sure you check back for some new episodes. Got a lesson? You can email me on learnedlessons2020@gmail.com. That is LEARNED LESSONS 2020 at gmail.com. See you!